everyone. This is Sonia. I'm the co-founder of Beautyque NYC, and today we are partying. Yes, we're partying like Studio 54, and I said that many times, but it's Studio Beautyque, and we need this party more than ever, even if we're coming back to the physical spaces and everything. But partying and opportunity to meet beauty expert as well. That way you have insights and helpful information to go on and move forward. At Beautyque, as you know, we create indie brands who believe in the same value as we do: women empowerment, sustainability, diversity, clean ingredients, and the list goes on. Some of our brands just started, and some other exist for more than 20 years, and they are thriving in a very competitive industry. Today, we have wonderful and amazing members at Beautyque, Katz and Lisa Thurman, if I don't kill the name because of my accent, from Amazing Cosmetics. Hi, Sue and Lisa. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Sonia. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm really excited to have you. Katz and Lisa Thurman always believed in a little concealer could go a long way. Challenged to find a concealer that provided solid coverage without looking khaki, they set out to make their own, leading to the creation of their game-changing Amazing Concealer 20 years ago. They're known for its undetectable coverage that could outlast the longest day on set. Amazing Concealer rapidly achieved cult status among pro makeup artists and celebrities. From the pro and Hollywood's A-list to social influencer and everyday makeup lovers, from day one, they have focused on creating high-quality products with the most innovative skin-nourishing ingredient and thrive as women founders for 20 years now. And in this meeting, you will discover how Sue and Lisa are thriving as a woman beauty brand owners. Then, without taking more time, let me ask you the first question. Tell us about Amazing Cosmetics and how you start this journey, Lisa and Sue.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Well, Sue and I were friends, and this is going back, like you said, 20 years. So our children were very young, and we decided that the internet was kind of in its infancy, at least in our minds. And we looked at each other one day and we thought, we're kind of at a point where we feel like we want to be more involved in business and doing something outside of the family. And the timing was really kind of perfect for us. And the internet gave us an opportunity to start a company without having to make what we thought at the time, and really was the case, major investment, that we could work from our home, we could reach a global customer, all from the confines of a space that didn't take us out of the home, which was something that was important to us back then. And we both were really interested in beauty and had loved it. And I had wanted to do something with beauty packaging, actually. And that's kind of what I was thinking of for even a couple of years before I approached Sue. And then, Sue can talk a little bit about this in a moment, but she was a working makeup artist at the time. So she was really like the perfect person for me to have these conversations with. And, we spent quite a bit of time, several months, maybe that isn't a lot of time to some people, but probably going on a year, where we talked about, what were we really wanting to do, and what was missing that we felt like as consumers ourselves, in the cosmetic space. And, Sue's the one that said, I really can't find a great concealer when I work on my clients. And, you're kind of expected to deal with sometimes, not always, but sometimes more serious skin issues with just a foundation. So, concealer wasn't even a category when we first launched the Amazing Concealer. And, I think it was a lot of hard work, but I'll always say, and a lot of people say the same thing, but it was some luck as well, and it was good timing. So, we really kind of connected with some great people and a great lab, and, finding that perfect formula was a lot of effort, as well as, everything else that we were kind of in the middle of doing. But, and I say the rest is history, but that's what we really prided ourselves on from the beginning, was finding a product that, you know, not only ourselves wouldn't be disappointed in, but that, you know, our potential, hopefully loyal, you know, customers wouldn't be disappointed in. And I do believe that we really nailed that. And it's probably why we're still here today. And any product that we came out with after that, we really thought about it the same way. So, you know, you'll see that we're a brand with not a lot of SKUs, and for the most part, that's been purposeful, so that we can really focus on, you know, every product that we come out with, and it has really the same care that we put into the development of the Amazing Concealer. Not to say we haven't missed the mark a couple of times, but, you know, we use ourselves as the guinea pig, and, you know, we just want to be sure that it's something we would use, something we would love, and something that actually does what we put out there that it's supposed to do. So it was, I say it was, you know, good timing, and us wanting to be entrepreneurial in spirit, and, you know, feeling like we could raise a family and make some of our own decisions. And, you know, it's been a really wonderful experience, and it's had its, you know, its highs and its lows. But I think Sue would agree that, you know, we're really proud of the company. And yeah, things have changed and things are even more challenging than they ever were. But I think you think that when you're in it, because in the early days when we started the business, there were so many challenges, and then we overcame each one. And then, you know, then there becomes new challenges, and so it goes.
Sue, would you like to add something?
You know, I just think it was, again, like Lisa said, the timing. We stepped into a white space where the larger companies really weren't focusing. And it was just something we identified. Again, like Lisa said, I'd be on the floor, you know, helping my customers and being very challenged on really covering their issues without makeup sitting on top or showing on your skin. And I really pride myself, especially with my brides, on you know, giving them a perfected complexion for their special day, whether it's, you know, every day or their wedding, is to not see makeup sitting on your skin, but to see good skin. And we have stayed true to that with all of our formulas from day one. We believe less is more. If you can find the right you know, formula, the right product, and use less of it to take care of whatever you know, issues you have, you know, it's not going to be distracting from the rest of your makeup application. You don't want to walk down the street having your foundation or concealer be seen. You want to see your beautiful skin. We want to see your beautiful eyes. We want to see that great lip color. And that can be very distracting if you have a complexion that hasn't been addressed, or you have too much complexion products on. And these days with Instagram and YouTube, and the young people are just putting like a half a bottle of concealer and foundation on. We don't believe in that, and we don't like that. And, you know, the celebrity makeup artists that we work with, you know, confirm that every day to us, that they like using less products that are more effective. They don't layer and layer and layer and cake on, because their customers don't want that either. We all just want to look like we've got a beautiful complexion. And we really pride ourselves on that. And so again, the challenges are out there because we've got all these Instagrammers or these influencers layering a ton of product on, and that's supposedly the way to put makeup on today. And you know, we don't believe that. And you know, the professional makeup artists don't either. So they become very popular, and it's hard to kind of combat that that mentality, I guess. But I think it is time to turn around. I think we're going to win that game back. You know, people, you know, put that much makeup on, they go outside, it doesn't look so good in 10 minutes in the hot sun. It feels heavy. It's expensive because you're using so much. And I do think the more natural, that's what happened in 2020 with COVID. We started wearing less makeup, and I think we started liking that on our skin. And so they're coming back to the less is more mentality. And just like, you know, everything, we've been doing this for 20 years. You know, we started online, we went into bricks and mortar, we're back online again. we'll be back in bricks and mortar in 5 years. We all need changes. And so you have to be really flexible as a business and be able to, just take a quick, right turn when you need to. And that's what you guys did. You were incredible in pivoting quickly. I mean, we were so impressed with you guys, planning on launching in store, and suddenly now we have this beautiful store.
We have to
It's been really fun
survive.
to be a part of it. Yeah. Something that's really super innovative. And again, driving that home, we've been doing this for 20 years, and seeing something so innovative, so quick, really, really got us. We were impressed.
Same here, because we believe like you, and maybe it's because of my culture, where I come from. It's about makeup is about really enhancing beauty, not covering your beauty. And even me personally, I am not able to have like 2 hours from like a thick foundation on my face. I can't, but I admire it. Sometimes I see some, very, very nice makeup, but I cannot do it myself. But totally, I mean, the Amazing Concealer is it just go with the face. It's just like cover a little bit, and it enhance the skin. And we believe that totally at Beautyque. But also, I'm curious, because 20 years ago in 2000, launching a brand online was not so common as it is now. Then was it challenging also, the fact that it was not that common and you are women starting that? I mean, did you have awkward reaction, or just tell me about it? Because 20 years ago, it's not like now it's so common, we are like familiar with it.
You should see our website. It was homemade.
People actually bought from us.
I think, that's why we titled the company, originally it was Amazing Concealer, because we had one product, and the internet was alphabetical back then. It was what Yahoo was a search engine. What was the search engine?
Yeah, it was Yahoo.
It was AOL dial-up. Remember that? that sound? And search engines were alphabetical, so we wanted an A name, and it needed to be very descriptive. So Amazing Concealer is what we started, and we grabbed up Amazing Cosmetics a couple of years later when it became available. We started getting orders the second we launched, and I think it was just such a badly needed product, and being descriptive, such as Amazing Concealer, told them this was going to be a powerful concealer for them. And Lisa and I thought we'd look at orders like a couple times a week, and that didn't happen. We all of a sudden had to work full time. So it was great.
Amazing.
Our first order was out of Singapore, though, and we said, how do we ship international?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't know.
Was wholesale order from Singapore, or yeah?
I think we had to deny it.
Nationally. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. But it's funny, though, that you said that, Sonia, because we definitely wanted to get into bricks and mortar, because we understood that people were nervous about buying beauty products online, as we were to some extent ourselves. So that was the goal. But we were fortunate enough that, like we said, we had a really great product. But Sue ran into a woman named Marcia Kilgore really only about 2 or 3 months after we started the business, and talked to her about the Amazing Concealer. And at the time, Marcia was publishing, if you will, the Bliss catalog. So we sent her the product, and she absolutely loved it, and she put it in the catalog. So that was like our first, kind of big retailer, if you will. And that was an actual catalog that would go to people's houses, but it was still like a little bit of a crack of a door opening for the brand. And then maybe 2 months after that, we went out to Los Angeles, and we went to a trade show, and we met a woman who ran a agency that represented celebrity makeup artists, hairstylists, and so forth. So we gave her a little bit of our product, and she sent us a list of her, her people, and we sent product to some of them. And I think really only one responded to us in the beginning, but it was a woman that was very well known. She was an artist, not just a makeup artist, and she was working on, A-list people, if you will. And she started talking about the product, using the product on her celebrity clients, talking about the product and sharing it with her peers. And that kind of started a whole, several years up until today of people in the professional community, using the Amazing Concealer, and subsequently some of our other products as well. But then they're talking about it. Then they're talking about it to editors, at the time when magazines were popular, and then we were getting written up. So it definitely was a domino effect. And I think it helped us with the online business, where people were starting to have some faith and confidence in what we were talking about because other people were talking about it. And though during all that time, we were hustling. We were trying to get into stores, the Nordstroms and Sephora and so on. So, that's kind of how we played it for many years. And like Sue alluded to before, now it's kind of coming back full circle where, we're really focusing on online because people are definitely more comfortable with buying pretty much anything online, including beauty products. But we can have so much more control online. We can talk directly to our customer. There's not a middleman, i.e., a large retail partner, which not, criticizing them, but when you've got them in between you, you can't talk to your customers as openly as you can when it's just you and them. So, we're always trying to acquire new customers, of course. And so even though we're a brand that's been around for a long time, we admit it, a lot of people have never heard about us. So that's opportunity for us. Those are people that we can acquire. That's new. That's those, new people that we hope will love the brand, will love our products. So like Sue said, will we be in more physical stores one day? I would think so. Everything's cyclical, and that's how that goes. But for now, we're kind of embracing this way of operating because we feel like we can be closer to our customer.
Mm-hmm. You used to be able to tell your story a lot better in the larger retailers, and they've just gotten, so large, and the market is really oversaturated and super competitive. So it does feel good to kind of scale back and just go online. And there's so many new tools and things that you can offer your customers online to help them choose the right shade, choose the right product. And again, people they're all using their phones only. They're shopping on their phones now. It's, 20 years ago, they didn't even have phones. Many people, I mean, I guess we did, but maybe they're on the car phone or whatever. But I don't remember when that started. So things change, and you have to change with them, and you have to be where your customer is. And our customer right now is, 90% online. So you have to accommodate and be able to talk to them and help them. But I have to say, customer service has never changed for us. We still take phone calls. I just answered one right before this interview. People still want to talk to you and talk through what their issues are, and, want to learn about your products via phone call or order via phone. And so we still are very, we're here verbally too. So, that will never go away. Yeah. Customer service, it's really sad to see how poorly it's gone downhill throughout the years. And we grew up in Chicago, and we have the Marshall Fields mentality, give the lady what she wants. And we stick by that to this day. It's very, very an important part of our business.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes you successful also, because we know you now for almost a year since we started, and Amazing Cosmetics really buddy. I don't know if it's the right word, but they are amazing in every sense. The products are amazing, but the people behind you are amazing. You are always helpful. You are always there. And I'm sure the customer service is always the same then. And this is what makes the difference also. Even if you have a great product, you have many things great, but if the customer service is not there, you can lose a customer and you lose part of the business. Now it's been 20 years. I mean, you've been, for the people who don't know Amazing Cosmetics, I mean, they've been in Ulta nationally. They are in Sephora in China, in many Sephora. How many you are in China? I mean, you're so many in
I'll
there.
let Lisa talk about China. That was a challenge. And go ahead, Lisa. That was
Well,
Lisa's baby.
yeah, we mean, thank you. We first launched in Sephora in China, I think it was 2012. And when we first went over there, we did not have, we were not required to test on animals. But there was no middleman, and Sephora acted kind of like our quasi distributor, and we shipped finished goods to Sephora, their warehouse. And it was a really pretty great setup, and they were a great partner. But when you go over there and you register your products, the registration lasts for a period of years. So about 4 years went by and the registration period was ending, and the rules had changed where our category of goods would have to then be tested on animals for us to re-register. So we made the decision with Sephora's support to exit because we were not going to test on animals. And so it wasn't a difficult decision because we knew we wouldn't do that. We weren't going to be that kind of company. But then it was difficult because it was a lucrative piece of business and we were a small brand. So we went through the process of leaving, and about a year later, we got back into a conversation with Sephora as they reached out to us, a new buyer, and they wanted us to come back in. And we had briefly discussed how we could do that when we were exiting, and nobody really felt comfortable with it, but that was to produce our bulk here in the United States and then ship it to a distributor, if you will, a middleman, a manufacturer in China, where they would fill and assemble the goods. And then we would be considered like a domestic brand, and we would not have to test on animals. So that would though then involve another entity, thereby, reducing our margins and really being quite a bit more work. But soon I saw what was happening in China. First of all, we had experienced it before and it was a positive experience. And, why wouldn't we want more people throughout the world, using and loving our products? But we were fortunate enough to be introduced to a person that could be that middleman for us, that we really came to trust and has been a great partner. So also Sephora had a bigger footprint. They had more doors than they had when we were there originally. And then there was more online opportunity with Sephora. So we thought, well, even though our profit, if you will be reduced, there's more opportunity to kind of absorb that because there's more doors. So we went back in 2018, I think we launched without animal testing. And, there again, they are a great partner, and they have quite a few stores, close to probably 300 by the end of this year, and, a couple different websites. So, that is a place that we are in a lot of physical, bricks and mortar, but it's been a great experience. And yeah, it's a lot of work, but we feel like it's worth it. And it's been a learning experience as well. And I think one we benefited from. I really have nothing but positive things to say about it. And it's interesting that not that many US brands have gone over and have done it the way we have. And I think that just shows that it's not, the hardest part is finding that partner, in China. I don't mean Sephora, but I mean this company or a manufacturer or whatever you want to call it, that you can work with and that you can trust to do what's right by your brand. I mean, you're essentially kind of working together, and it's has worked out for us, fortunately.
Mhm.
You made it work. I mean, because this is one of the challenges brand founder face, is really how to balance between their values, mission, and the business, you know, to make it successful. And you obviously were able not to lose the business, stick to your values, and overcome them. And this is one of the examples that brand founders should, you know, take as an example, because, okay, we have our values and this is what we support at Beautyque, but also it's a business. You have to make it work.
Right.
And you knew how to balance that. And this is like
Yep.
amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, really amazing. And do you have any other example like that? Because as a, I mean, as a business owner, it's difficult already. I mean, not difficult to make it like, sorry, it's so, don't get into that. But business owners is challenges every day. You have to really thrive with problems. But as a woman too, I am a woman, but I would like to know, you as a woman, was it, or is it, was it more difficult? Is it the same? What type of challenges are you facing? Really give us example, because you are thriving, you exist for 20 years and business is going well. Tell us, how are you thriving?
A lot of it is we've just been extremely lucky to meet a couple of fabulous bankers who support women-owned businesses. We've been on the other end where we've had a bank not support us, and we felt that it was quite unfair that we might have been treated different if we were men. And I've read many articles about how challenging it is, especially in these days. You would think we'd be getting better, but it's not. How challenging it is for women, especially minority women, to get any kind of funding or loans versus men. It's still very, very unbalanced, and that's really sad. I'd have to say, I was talking to you last week, Sonia. I think we might be one of the very few handful of still women, truly women, 100% owned cosmetic companies. I think many are women run, but you know, you look behind the layers and there's men financing. And you know, so I think also another challenge is there's still that mentality of men picking up the phone and calling a buyer. Buyers seem to, we've seen it. They react different to women, you know, talking to women versus talking to men. And so there's all those challenges. There's, you know, a lot of women out there who want to support women. And unfortunately, there's a lot of women out there that don't support women. And that's still the sad case. And, you know, Lisa and I are here to support women. So give us a call because we're here for you guys.
You are open to mentor brand founders. I mean, if you have a bond, obviously, with
as best as we can, who knows, right? But yeah, we're here.
Yeah, you want to give back. Then okay, I'm not gonna, I mean, people can find your email. We can put your email at the end of the video. We can do that. But they know Amazing Cosmetics, and you can have the contact information. Would you give any specific advice to brand founders that are starting? What would you tell them how to do? Any advice?
I think I would say to, you know, not let other people talk you out of things, and, you know, to listen to people that you respect. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And some people can have very good advice, but if you really have the passion and it's something that you've thought through and it's something you really want, I think you just continue to go for it. Because I will say that from my end, when Sue and I started the business, I would say the majority of people in my sphere were very supportive, but there's always a couple of naysayers. And it seems like as people, we often let those voices influence us maybe more so than the people around you that are being positive. You could have 10 people telling you to go for it. And you could have one person telling you why not to. And it seems like often we gravitate towards that one person that tells us, maybe not to do it. So I would just say, I know that sounds a little like not overly specific, but Sue and I were really focused on that this is what we wanted to do, and we really weren't going to be dissuaded from it. And, we took it day by day, and, every place that we ended up was because of a couple things before that got us to that place. And, you might be impatient in the beginning, excuse me, to want to like see all these results and achieve all your goals, but they really just they come to you eventually by the work that you do, even the minutia work that you do every day, because a lot of our days are like everybody else's where it's just doing the work, but then there will be moments in time, or you'll travel somewhere, you'll be at an event, and then that's like the moment that this is really fun, or this is really exciting, or I can't believe like we're here doing this. But then you appreciate those moments because of the day after day of the work you're doing. So I would say that embrace each day, even the hard work, because you're going to have those great moments of realization that this is what you were meant to be doing, and just stick with it. And I mean, unless everything's pointing to you saying this is wrong, that's different. And if things just you're realizing maybe this wasn't for you, but I would just like go with your heart, and have people around you that are supportive of you.
I want to add just a little, you're going to make mistakes. You know what? Know that going in. And many times it's from those mistakes that, it gets you to a different and a better place.
Yeah.
Lisa and I have always sat down when we have a decision to make, and if it feels like it's a round peg shoving into a square hole, we step back and we don't do it. And sometimes that opportunity might come back around when it is the right time. So like Lisa said, patience, man, that's a tough one. But, yeah. And that they're the naysayers, but you stay true. Don't forget why you started the business, or why you created this product, or why you created the service that you're offering. And remind yourself of that every single time you go to make a decision, because there's so many distractions out there coming at you all different ways, and it makes you very confused. So write down why you started and put it right in front of you and read it. And if it doesn't, whatever your opportunity or whatever's coming your way doesn't fit with that original, then don't do it. So we've lived and learned that the hard way. So learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
Because we've made them.
Yeah, but that's what you stay authentic to yourself, and keep the business going, which is not an easy thing, but it's good to remind ourselves. And thanks for bringing this. And would you give them some advice, because we meet many brands, we have many brands founders, and we all look to grow and be with retailers. Would you give them a specific advice, when they have target retailer, what they should do, should not, when they reach out, how they should prepare themselves, not be discouraged, whatever you want to advise, because many brands want to be, they have their retailer target, and for someone who've been there, done that, what would you advise?
The presentation is a big key part of soliciting, a big box retailer, getting your foot in the door. And so have somebody help you with that presentation, where it really, really tells your story and your point of difference, because that's what they're looking for. They're also looking obviously for these days, your followers, and if you're advertising and you spend. So money does talk too, but more so is they want that point of difference. Because why would they take you when they have, 16 other brands who did the same thing you do? So you might need a little help telling that story, and making it, making them want to meet with you. Then once you're there, it's really just, personality and showing your product or your service or whatever it is that you're offering. And it's got to work for both ways. So it can't be that round peg in the square hole. It has to be the right fit for both them and you. Because if you shove your way in the door and it's not right, it's going to hurt you. So I know that you might have a goal that you want something really big, but it might not be. Maybe don't shove it, don't push it. It might come back around when it is the right time. Lise, any other advice on that?
I guess I just keep your, well, Sue's right. I mean, you have to have a pretty polished presentation, especially these days, I would say, as opposed to years ago. Because you're competing with a lot of other brands. We thought there was a lot of brands back in our day, but that's just exploded exponentially for sure. I mean, back in our day, a lot of the brands we were competing with were bigger brands. And I think even at the buyer level understood that to some extent. Like, okay, Amazing Cosmetics isn't Estee Lauder. The mindset's a little different. Maybe our expectations are here versus here. And everybody was kind of relatively happy because a lot of retailers wanted they wanted to incubate small, cool brands. So it was like the small brands over here, and they were giving you a lot of attention and helping you. And then there was the big brands, and we were treated a little differently. However, when you're on the floor and say your unit is in Nordstrom and you're next to Chanel, well, damn it, you better have the same kind of sales because we're giving you that real estate. So there it got a little bit like you had to be more like each other. But what I was going to say is, if you are somebody today, a brand, and you are like, say, wanting to get into, Ulta, and you get in Ulta and they're going to put you in all their doors, I just temper your excitement a little bit and make sure that as a small brand, you can manage that to scale that way. Because when we launched with Ulta, for example, they only got, I don't know, Sue, 140 doors or something like that. And that was big for us, but we could manage that. But, as they grew, but we didn't grow how they grew. So it was really hard to manage that growth. So I just want people to be careful what you wish for. If you get into a retail partner and they say, we're going to put you in 100 stores, don't be thinking, oh, but you have 800 stores. Work the 100, manage it well, and then you can grow as you should. And even if your retail partner comes back and says, wow, you're doing great, let's get you in all our doors, just as a company, make sure, talk with your people, or if it's only you, make sure you can handle that, is all I'm saying. Because, if you take that leap too fast, that could really come back to hurt you. Mm-hmm. That would be like a piece of advice that I would give that I hope people could hear and maybe, at least ponder, before they say yes to something that sounds really great. Unless you have the team and the resources, that's a completely different story. But I know a lot of small indie brands don't quite have that built up yet. So
they don't know. And sometimes, as you said, it's the excitement of being part of that,
right.
Take the whole thing, but they forget that there's a structure to build and make sure everything is working.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, both. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My last question, and it's gonna be over, and because our goal at Beautyque is to bring together like-minded brand founders, build a community that can be successful together, and that have they are mission driven. My question, what has your experience been like with us, and what is it to be part of Beautyque? Whatever you feel like to say.
I love that, when we launched, we were thinking it was going to be bricks and mortar, like we talked about. And, obviously we got the phone call that, hey, we're doing this instead. And we were so intrigued. And do you want to stay with us? We're like, absolutely. And then you guys put together, you know, Zoom calls, and we got to meet other brand founders. And Lisa and I loved doing that. We used to go to Nordstrom trend shows, and we'd stand on the floor and meet founders of all these indie brands, as we were and still are. And some of them are behemoths now. But we were all in the same boat, and we helped each other, you know, just, you know, standing in the store, going to lunch together, etc. You kind of brought that back for us virtually. And, you know, we love meeting other brand founders, especially independents. You know, we need to help each other out. And it's just been really part of this whole experience that we've really found enjoyable. And thank you. You guys brought that back because you know, we get it peppered in once in a while, Lisa and I, when we travel, we'll meet people, when we're in the green room on QVC or, you know, wherever we are. But not as much as when we first started. And, you know, you guys are doing that. That's great. We love it.
Oh, thank you. And we started that, I mean, in May 13, 2020. I mean, it was the beginning of COVID, and nobody really knew where we were going. We didn't know if things will stay for long. We didn't know. And we're so glad to have you. I mean, from the start, thank you so much. We're really happy to have you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. I think the only thing I'll add is I've been really impressed with the constant creativity with respect to your marketing opportunities. Because I know that you are running a business and that you have a small team, and there's probably just a lot of work to do for the day-to-day of that. But a whole other side of what I think Beautyque is doing is constantly coming up with, I think, pretty innovative marketing opportunities. And we can't say yes to all of them, but we say yes if it's a fit for us or we're able to. But I just am, you know, impressed each time when you present something, and I feel like it's not quite cookie cutter like a lot of what you see out there. So, you know, kudos to you, your team, for, you know, kind of coming up with interesting ways for your brands to, you know, expose themselves to your customer. That's what I think I've been really impressed with, besides the huge pivot a year ago from bricks and mortar to virtual.
Well, thank you. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do that at all. I mean, it was like, if no brand founders supported us since the beginning, we wouldn't be able. It would be just an idea in the air. Then if it was not you, we wouldn't have this. Then thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Then thank you very much for being here. Thanks to our visitor to come today, because I hope you learned a lot from this video. We have many other meetings with experts. Browse around and have fun, because it's party time. It's disco time. Bye-bye.